Parents, I just want to encourage you to have daily check-ins with your child. You don't know what's going on with them. You don't know what's going on in their minds. You don't know what they're dealing with in their hearts. You don't know if somebody hurt them. You don't know if somebody said something to them. You just don't know, especially if you have a teenager. I just encourage you to do a check-in. Every day might be a bit of a burnout. So you might just give a generic question like, how was your day? At least ask them how was their day. But I encourage you to have at least a weekly check-in. Pull your child to the side so that they know it's serious. Pull them in your bedroom and say, hey, sit down in the bed for a second. Let's have a talk. And I haven't talked to you in a while. Let's just talk. And you'll be surprised that when you open up to your child, they will open up back to you. You can say, hey, my day was crap. I had a bad day. Tell them about your day, because it'll get them comfortable enough to talk about their day. Allow them to see that you're being vulnerable as well. And if you're dealing with a younger one, you might say, hey, my day wasn't so good. And just have a talk with them and say, how was yours? And they may say, they may just surprise you. They may surprise you when they open up about their day. We need this now more than ever. We have teenagers and young people just taking their lives over all kinds of things, and you wish that you can go to them and talk to them and say, what were they thinking? What's been going on? Especially in school, especially since they have these cell phones. And it's like carrying peer pressure everywhere you go. Where they was in school before, now it's like peer pressure on a go. It's like mobile peer pressure. And I just wanted to encourage you, because there's a lot of teen takeovers events that are happening. And I know some parents are dropping their kids off to these events, not even knowing what's going on. You don't even know. You're like, okay, your child told you they wanted to go to Dave & Buster's to hang out with their friends. Okay, bet. I'm going to drop you off at Dave & Buster's. Go hang out with your friends. Rock out. You need some money? I'll give you some money. And then you pull off and you leave, only to find out that there was hundreds more that showed up. And now they're rioting, they're acting wild, and there's all kinds of stuff going on. Parents, speak to your child. Allow your child to have that communication with you to the point that they're open enough to say, hey, I'm going to a teen takeover event. Now, I know kids can lie. I know that, teenagers are not perfect. Kids are not perfect. I get it. But we have to draw the line somewhere. We parents, we got to step up. We got to step our game up. Is it that we're being too soft with our children? I mean, I understand. So I just been constantly seeing on social media, this generation is cooked. There's a lot of memes going around. There's a lot of videos going around. Everybody's saying that this generation is cooked, and I don't believe they're cooked. I believe that God has called this generation for such a time as this. They're bold. They're courageous. I mean, look what they have to grow up in. God saves the best for last. I mean, they just need to be redirected. Could you imagine if these kids got together for Teen Takeover, but it was for something positive? I mean, they got the audacity to come together. Somebody's planning. Look at it like this. Somebody planned the event. That's an event planner. Somebody actually took the time out, wrote everything down, and planned that event. Somebody had influence. Somebody had enough influence to plan an event, and then everybody showed up. We need to figure out who planned the takeover, because that means that God has put so much into that young person that they can be influential with their peers. They just need to be steered in the right direction. Come on, y'all. This is how I'm thinking. Pray for these kids. I'm not going to even speak that and say that they're cooked, because my kids are not cooked. I believe that God has put so much more on the inside of them. God has given them so much. And then to the ones who actually go, that means that they're okay with actually trying something new. They're okay with gathering. They're okay with meeting new people and coming together. So you got to look at the positive about it. However, as parents, we have to gain control of our kids. I cannot stress this enough. We have to gain control of our kids. I mean, they're trying to make it where as though that we're held accountable more. Like, these kids can't go anywhere without adult supervision. I mean, we're going to take that away from them, all for some. Parents, let's gain control of our children. What are they doing? Who are they hanging out with? Who's around? Where did you hear this information? Before you take them to Dave and Buster's, before you drop them off at the Wendy's up the street, before you drop them off at the movie theater, who are you going with? Why did you decide to go today? Ask the questions. Ask the questions. And then stand by. Sometimes if you got the snoop, you got the snoop. If you're dropping your kid off at the movie theater, drive around for a little bit just to make sure that they're actually going there and there's nothing going on. I don't know about you, but if my kids tell me that they want to go to a movie, we going to the movies, okay? I'll probably be in a different theater, or I'll be somewhere in the vicinity. I'm going to be somewhere around hanging out. I'll even sit outside. But I'm going to be somewhere hanging out just in case my child is in trouble. I'm not playing that. If you 14 and 15 and even 16, we're not doing that. We're like, who you with? Who's going? And, get more control of your children, because guess what? They may be mad that you said no now. They may be mad that you said no, that they can't spend the night over their friend's house. They may be mad because you said no, they can't hang out with Joe. They may be upset because you took their cell phone for not following the rules. They may be upset because you told them that they got to turn that TV off at a certain time and you don't even care if it's the summertime. They may be upset that you told them no, but guess what? In the long run, they're going to come back and thank you for it. And actually, you're going to thank yourself for it, because you're going to find out that these cell phones and TV was conditioning your child the whole time. You got to gain control, and you have to be that ear. We have to find out. You don't want the cell phones to raise your children. You don't want the streaming platforms to raise your children. You don't want YouTube or social media to raise your children. So we got to put a stop to it. How do you put a stop to it? Hey, give a cutoff. They don't need to have their cell phones all night long. I know in my house, I know it's a bit late, but my kids are a little bit older, so it's a bit late. I have teenagers too. You got to give me your cell phone. Cell phones downstairs, they're not allowed to sleep with their cell phones. They're not allowed to keep them. No, bring them downstairs at a certain time. With the television, TV's got to be cut off at a certain time. What are you watching? Because you can't watch everything. That's what we need. We need to bring that back. You know what I'm saying? What our parents used to do to us, and they was a little bit harsh, but guess how we turned out okay. Most of us turned out all right. Most importantly, you know what they need? They need Jesus. They need prayer. They need community, fellowship. Now, I know y'all been hearing a lot on social media about these churches, but guess what? Not all churches are like that. I grew up in church, and the reason why I am the person that I am today is because I had a place to go. I went to church, honey, and I wasn't just in church just doing all the religious stuff. Our church had programs for us. We were able to hang out with other kids at church, other teenagers at church, and we had all kinds of stuff going on. See, the problem is as well is that some of the churches are too consumed with the adults and worrying about the money and worrying about revivals and all these things that are going on. Bring back activities for our youth. Our youth are crying out for something to do because we are forgetting about them. We're not paying them any attention. And let me just say this. A lot of us as adults, we have so much going on. We're having money issues. Inflation is real. We got to pay so much for gas. We're worrying about what they do at the White House. We're just trying to figure out how we're going to survive. We're trying to figure out whether or not we want to keep them in school, whether we want to keep them at home. Okay, I can't afford to keep them at home, even though I would love to keep them at home. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? How am I going to feed them next week? I got to buy food. The refrigerator needs to be stocked. This bill has to be paid. That bill needs to be paid. And we have so much going on in our mind that we are struggling mentally to get it together. And now we got to raise our children. And it's hard. I know. It's hard. It's hard out here in these streets. It's hard for us. But we have to invite your children into what's going on. Sit down and talk to them about life skills. Say, hey, we going through something now. They done raised the gas prices. Inflation is going on. I know money's tight. You know, a lot of people struggling, but let's sit down and figure out what can we do. What do you want to do this summer that's going to help you stay from off the streets? Who you want to hang out with? I'll work it out. There's a lot of things that we can do for our kids that are free. And having a conversation with our children costs us nothing. It costs nothing to have a conversation with them. Keep them busy. They need something to do. These kids need something to do. They want to feel like they belong. They want to feel like they're doing something. They want to feel like they are validated. Give them something to do. I told my kids over the summer, y'all building businesses. I got them building businesses. Yes. They said, Mommy, we want a summer job. You mean going out to work for somebody? I said, oh, no, you don't. I said, you know what you're going to spend your summer doing? You're going to be using your brains, and you're going to be using the gift that God has put in the inside of you. You're going to create your own summer job. I got my children working on businesses for this summer. Like in this summer, we're going to think. We're not just going to, I just want to raise them differently. We've been trained and conditioned to go to school, to get our education, and then had a nerve to do college work. And I'm not speaking against it. There's nothing wrong with going to college, nothing wrong with going to school. But what it's done is prepared us for work. And I just want to raise my child a little bit differently. I just want to try and do something a little bit different. So I told my kids, I said, listen, we got AI going on now. I don't know what's going to be going on in y'all future with the way that things are going. So guess what? Everybody, what do you like to do? Because guess what? We're going to be working on our businesses over the summer. That's what we're doing. And it's just not going to be in the summer. It's going to continue, and it's going to follow you for life. And I'm just trying to prepare them. My husband and I sat down and told them, we said, listen, we understand that you want to get summer jobs, but guess what? Once you start, you're going to be working. It's just going to continue to be for you to be working. So we want to prepare them now to be able to use these life skills. I believe that if they're busy working on their craft, that's a way to keep them off the street as well. Sit down at the dinner table and talk to your children. Have dinner together. It's not hard. We all have to eat. You got to eat. They got to eat. Sit down together and have a meal. I'm not saying you got to do it every day, but when you can, sit down together and have a meal. You'll be surprised at how much your children open up at dinner time. If you can't do dinner, do breakfast. If you can't do breakfast, do lunch. This is what's going on. Our children feel invisible, and it is our jobs to make them feel visible. My kids' dad, my girls, he's always in their face. He's always telling them how pretty they are. He's always just taking them to buy something. And what do you need? They said, oh, I want a summer job. He said, no, tell me what you need. I'll buy it for you. He's just always in their ears because he's raising them now to feel visible so that they won't feel invisible, so that they won't feel like they got to go out and do this and do that and show off. And, you know, it's just a lot that our children are faced with. And the teen takeovers, I'm hoping that we don't have any more. Parents, please, 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 please Make sure that your children are safe. Make sure that they are not out in these streets getting wrapped up into stuff that they ain't supposed to be into. If you got to send them to camp, send them to camp. If you got to create something for them to do over the summer, please find something for your children to do. If you have to work, find a relative that is trustworthy and has character to watch your children. The last thing I want to just stress, I cannot stress this enough, is prayer. Y'all, when I tell you prayer works, that's why the enemy tries to keep you away from it, because it works. It really does work. Pray over your children. Even when you feel like, oh, my child is not listening to me, it's not me, it's my child, because my child is not listening, they're being rebellious, whatever is going on, pray over your child. God is able to cover them. God is able to keep them. God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all you could ask or think. Your child may be troubled, and you've been trying to figure out what's going on with them, what's happening. Will they survive this? Will they be okay? And I'm just going to tell you that they will be okay. Trust and believe in God. He has his hand on them. He is covering them through your prayer. So as long as you are praying, as long as you are reaching out to God and keeping them and holding them up, they're going to be okay. They're going to be okay. They're going to be delivered. They're going to be set free.